Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, Kenny Omega returns on AEW Dynamite.
I've got a backstage update on Kenny Omega's return on last night's Dynamite.
CM Punk and Jon Moxley are unifying the AEW World titles next week.
And a major update on the Johnny Gargano situation. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I can't wait till Johnny Gargano goes back to WE.
And this is the news.
Alright, we're going to kick things off with Kenny Omega. It's really the only thing we can open a video with today,
Yes.
right? He returned on last night's episode of Dynamite. You probably knew that was going to happen when they ran the mystery partner angle and when they closed an episode of Being the Elite this week with a note from Kenny Omega's music. You kind of knew it was happening, but it still felt good. It still felt right. He was the Young Bucks trios partner opposite to they faced La Facción Ingobernable with...
Who aren't a thing anymore.
I have probably pronounced that all wrong,
That's
but
very
yes.
good. Good try.
Yeah, thank you. Andrade El Idolo, Dragon Lee, not anymore, as you've covered. That was strange. And Roosh, who suddenly hates his brother. But on to Kenny.
Let things breathe, Tony.
On to Kenny. This was it was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Really good. He came out and he had the rash guard on that he wrestled on with the Chris Brooks shoulder brace over the top. You love to see it. He had the jacket. We'll be talking a bit more about his physical status in the questions, by the way. So we'll talk about that a bit later on. But they wrestled the match. Kenny and the boys won. It was a one-winged angel on Dragon Lee, who was Dragon Lee was like a real babyface throughout this match. Like he wasn't indulging in any of La Facción's shenanigans really. So that was interesting. But yes,
he nearly killed someone in the crowd, but you know.
That was some dive, man, wasn't
Jesus.
it? He's out of control. I love it. But yes, Kenny's back. Rejoice. He's been away since November. Name an injury. He had it. Right?
Yes, yeah. It's easier for Andy to run through the injuries he didn't have.
Yeah, like I think his ears were okay.
One of them.
Yeah, they're still attached. So, but yeah, there we go. I popped huge. The crowd popped huge. It's nice to have him back. He's been gone 9 months.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just absolutely jazzed after last night's Dynamite, and particularly obviously Kenny Omega's return.
Did you feel the battle cry?
Oh yeah, I think that one of the Dudleys, if not both of them, on the preview podcast, WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, said this. It's one of those, a bit like the Punk thing, maybe slightly more obvious than the Punk thing. The Punk thing that was still, this was like, you were 99% certain it was going to be Kenny Omega, but there was just that 1% of doubt, and I think that's what made it even more special.
It's a good balance, isn't it? It's kind of the modern way of handling surprises and stuff, because there's two arguments to this, right? There's the organic fan argument of just someone showing up completely unannounced. That's going to get you the best pop, right? That's going to get you the most, usually it's good. I think the Punk thing is like, we all wanted that, but like, when someone comes in and it's completely out of the blue, it's awesome, it's great, it's classic pro wrestling. There's a boring business argument that like, hey, if we announce it, we'll get a bigger rating. I feel like this stuff like is the perfect balance.
Yes.
Because it might not happen and you're discussing it a little bit, but you know deep down inside that it's going to happen, you're going to get the thing you want. It's the modern way of doing things.
Exactly.
And I like it.
And Fightful Select, no crap, just Sap, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. I've come through with a bit of an update on the whole thing. Obviously, as Andy said, we hadn't seen Kenny Omega since November 2021. Apparently, there were plans for him to return at the Forbidden Door event, but that didn't work out, and Omega actually pulled himself off the road. He had been doing sort of backstage behind the scenes stuff, but that had been hindering his recovery, so he just disappeared. Also, his lack of public appearances, that was part of all this as well. And then the whole shift from moving from what we anticipated to be the sort of trilogy fight between FTR and the Young Bucks to the whole trios thing, that was as a catalyst of Kenny Omega's return. Again, as we've sort of alluded to in the past as well, Tony Khan was always holding off on bringing those trios world championships in because he wanted him to be there when Kenny Omega was ready to return. And yeah, he'd been hiding, as I said, from public view for obvious reasons.
Yeah, purposefully. I like that. Not giving people too much, but still coming through with the occasional interview. That seems to be what Kenny's approach was to all that. I thought an interesting...
Causing us to have slight heart failure when he said, if this happens again, I'm never returning.
Yeah, that was...
Don't say that, Kenny.
That was wild. Yeah, a lot of people took that the wrong way.
Yes.
They thought he was going to retire. It's like, no, he's talking about the recuperation and stuff. I think he probably knew what he was doing there for. But interesting part of this to me is the report notes that the vertigo he was suffering from, he got from a Kazuchika Okada dropkick. Right? They've not shared a ring since September 2018. Kenny Omega's had vertigo for 4 years potentially.
Jeez, that's almost as long as you too.
I mean, listening to their music gives me very good as well. But, I digress.
Beautiful Day's a banger. I'll defend that for the rest of my days.
Yeah, I mean, Vanilla Ice Cream's all right, but
Exactly.
I wouldn't call it a banger.
Raspberry Ripple's my favourite.
Dried
What were we talking
toast.
about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Great to have Kenny Omega back.
Good.
Hey,
stuff.
Kenny, have some Raspberry Ripple ice cream on me. There you go.
John Moxley and CM Punk. They're unifying the
Oh
belts.
my God.
They're unifying the belts next week, my friends. A lot of us would have expected this to be the all-out main event.
Yes.
It's not. It's not the all-out main event, and I have no idea what they're doing in a great way. So they had. Okay, I'm not going to run through everything that happened in these segments.
We will do on the Dynamite review and on Ups and Downs.
Ups and Downs article, Ups and Downs video with Simon. We'll do that
You know
later.
how it goes.
Segments, explosive, pull-apart brawls. John Moxley interrupted the Tony Nese entrance and beat him up. And
Poor bastard.
it's like a real powder keg situation they've created, like something that could ignite at any second. The idea of this feud.
I just remember Claudio carrying Mox.
Yeah, like,
Not worth it, John.
come on, little guy. The whole point is that they've created this situation that can't be restrained, right? It's going to explode, and they can't keep them apart any longer. So that's the idea. They've booked the unification title match, AEW World Champion CM Punk against interim AEW World Champion John Moxley for next week's Dynamite. This to me creates a bunch of interesting questions, because you sit there and you go, oh my god, you got a pay-per-view to sell in 2 weeks, brother. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that? At the same time, I also feel like they've put themselves in a position where they rarely use things like DQs and screwy finishes. That, you know, they barely do them, like one a year or whatever. They could actually believably do one next week, and it'd probably be totally fine, because they've established this thing as combustible. They've established that these guys will go too far, they're out of control, or whatever. You can easily do something and then maybe step it up at the pay-per-view, or...
Yes, I was watching this, and they announced, obviously, that they're going to have the title unification match next week, presumably counter-programming the Lights Out match, obviously, on NXT 2.0. And I thought, cool, it's a nice world title match, unification match. Big match you got there, Tony. Between two schmucks that MJF's already beaten. So MJF's going to return and show him.
Didn't beat John Moxley.
Well, Moxley used an illegal move, so I think you'll find technically, Andy Murray, he did beat the world. He's world champion in my heart right now.
Smart Mark Wilborn over here. Tony Nese manager.
What streak are we on, by the way? Someone pointed this out, and I apologise, because I was going to use it as one of the Twitter questions, and then I forgot. Because someone pointed out, what's the streak of returns on Dynamite? Are we like 6 weeks in now? Is it potentially
in a
obviously-
row?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
People like, obviously.
I'd have to sit down, but yeah, they've had so many people out.
Yeah.
Like the injury crisis was so deep that, yeah, man, it would probably be pretty long. Interesting.
But yeah, the fact that the fact that, like you say, that they could utilise a DQ or something like that for they use it very sparingly.
That's the thing. Like, you can use these things if you don't do it every week.
Punk called Hangman Page a bitch. Maybe he gets involved. MJF is the what's it called? The elephant in the room with all these sorts of things.
Looming shadow.
But yeah, they've got that, and then All Out. I'm right in thinking it's 2 weeks on Sunday, isn't it?
That's right. Crazy. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen in a good way.
Oh, and by the way, next week's Dynamite is in Cleveland, so that could be interesting.
Yep.
Particularly if you're Johnny Gargano, of course. Body Slam Cassidy Haynes has provided a bit of an update on his whole situation. By the way, he has had talks with AEW. No word on how those went, but there also now is obviously speculation with him returning to WWE. His contract expired. He went off and was a dad, which I think more people should do. And he...
Don't have kids. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm only joking.
I meant take time off. No, if you don't want to have kids, you don't have kids if you don't want to. But yes, unsurprisingly, Cassidy Haynes reporting here that Gargano.
Gargamel.
I said I couldn't
Who's
go back.
Gargamel? Is that the Smurf guy?
I think he's a Pokemon.
Is he a Pokemon?
Yes.
I thought he was a Smurf.
But unsurprisingly, he is more open to returning to WWE now. Vince is gone and Triple H is in charge. Per Cassidy Haynes' source, the overarching factor for Gargano walking away was dissatisfaction with his position / direction, with no set plan for how he'd be used. His contract expired obviously December 2021. I'd lean more towards him returning to WWE now. But next week's Dynamite's in Cleveland, so there'll probably be... Just don't have someone come out with the phrase Johnny Elite, maybe. Yeah. That was the one where I was like, oh, I really wish John Morrison, or whatever you call him, his name wasn't John.
Yeah. I'm glad of this report from Cassidy here. Shout outs to him. He does a great job coming through and kind of confirming some stuff that was maybe an assumption before about how Triple H coming in makes him more likely to stick around or come back, and how he wants to see how things have improved and changed and all that. Because let's be honest, as talented as Johnny Gargano is, idiot Vince McMahon, we can call him words now, it's great.
Yeah.
Idiot Vince McMahon was never going to push him on the main roster because he doesn't pass his airport test, which is this ridiculous dust-clad relic from the 1980s that shouldn't really apply to pro wrestling anymore. And stupid.
Well, to be fair, back then wrestling was only like a little thing in bars. So.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. The Von Erichs never, sold out any damn stadiums. I love it. My favorite fact about all of this, and I love this so much, is that the. Oh God, I've forgotten his name now, haven't I? You know what? Let's just skip that bit.
Okay, let's move on. It comes back to you. We can come back to it.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the Twitter questions.
My God.
He'll tweet it at Andy H.
Yeah,
when it comes back later on.
I'll tweet it later.
At WhatCulture WB, if you send us Twitter
forgot.
questions. I do that all the time.
Hey, here's a great line. It's gone.
I'm just so tired all the time. I genuinely yesterday went to put my alarm on in my house whilst my wife was still in the house.
Jim Londos. That's
There we go.
That's it.
Yes, see,
My
I knew we'd get
favorite
there.
thing of all time.
Yes.
Is that the highest drawing wrestler of all time, Jim Londos, retired in the year the WWF was formed. Love it. So great.
But he never did anything in WWE.
WWE.
Brian gives us our first question on Twitter today. He says, good day, gents, and King of the Kazoo.
I mean, the eel can't... Scissor me, Daddy Kazoo. The eel loves the kazoo, man.
Loves it, doesn't he?
Mad for it. Look at his little smile.
Greetings from Detroit, says Brian. Kenny Omega returning was amazing, but Andy, he didn't seem 100% like he wasn't ready to return. Is this advanced storytelling, or did AEW just need him to return?
It's advanced storytelling. 200 million%.
Yes.
It's advanced storytelling.
It's genius.
It is absolutely great. So many people are going, oh wow, is he 100%? Is he still hurt? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? Even like media people, podcast people, and like writers and reporters are all
Podcast people are idiots.
over social media. Like people who cover this for a living are worked.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. It's really hard to work people in 2022. Everyone thinks they know everything. Everyone has, behind the scenes knowledge or whatever. And this stuff is absolutely magnificent. The guy comes out and he's wearing this crappy rash guard.
Take your top off.
Because the guy knows, Kenny Omega knows that his physical reveal, what kind of shape's he in after all these problems, is going to be a big thing for people. People want to see that. He doesn't give you it. Not only does he wear this crap rash guard that looks awful, he wears the Chris Brooks shoulder brace thing, and he's like, hey, I'm still hurt. In the match, like literally the first thing Don Callis says pretty much on commentary is, oh, even Kenny Omega at 30% is still the greatest wrestler of all time. He's selling the knee. He's out there tweeting after the show going, man, it's gonna take me a while to get back to my level. He's selling body parts.
Can't do the Terminator dive.
Can't do the dive properly. He's working at about, I don't know, like half speed. This stuff rules.
Oh, you tried to do the kip up, didn't he? The slam
kip
up thing, and
he was like, oh wow, and he kind of slumped into the tag. It's just a tremendous, great work from a guy who knows exactly what he's doing. The fact that so many people in the media are getting spun around by it, I think is awesome. I love it. It's great. Get worked and enjoy the ride, man. That's what wrestling's all about.
One of the few times I can actually say it's a work, and people will be like, yes, it is, Adam.
Because you think about it, the minute when he finally takes the shirt off and he does the Terminator dive at full speed, the pop is going to be, that's what pro wrestling is.
Got gassed him. Oh, bloody one-wing angel.
Oh, man, I can't do my own bloody move. I'm Kenny Omega. I'm so tired.
Love it.
This stuff rules.
More on that on Ups and Downs and the podcast, of course.
Wrestling's pretty good.
Wrestling's a good.
Tweet that.
Good time to wrestling, and you can like more than one wrestling show. Remember that.
Yeah, I like two.
Andrew Richardson gives us our second question of the day. Being a few months away from Survivor Series, do you see Triple H adding NXT into the mix, similar to 2019, although circumstances were different that year, or do you see them doing non-brand warfare matches?
Yeah, I think that with Triple H at the helm, the odds of NXT being involved are increased maybe like tenfold.
Yes.
I can absolutely see him going, let's go. And maybe they should have some kind of involvement. I would like to see them get away from the brand warfare thing, but if there's a way to organically integrate NXT people in, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Even if it's just one or two matches. I would like to see a return to the old days of just, hey, we got these two groups of 4 or 5 people who hate each other. Let's have a Survivor Series match.
Having said that, I would like to see Red versus Blue, if that means we get Bobby Lashley versus Gunther.
Oh yes, that'd be nice.
Yes, please.
That would be a beef slapper.
Yeah, chuck NXT in there. And for me, Andy, I know this might be a bit of a controversial choice. One more match. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, the goddamn Don Tony D'Angelo who pins both of them.
Next question.
He's the Dan. That NXT Heatwave number. That's down to Tony
like
D.
The Sopranos as well.
Chad WC Michael, unsurprisingly, here's a bit of a cheat code for you sirs to pick your question. You send us a photo with this is the new scroll around an inflatable mic with an eel wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Excellent work, Chad.
You can't lose, can you?
No notes. Happy Thursday, homie, says Chad. If the WE, Rich literally wrote that.
Chad, you rule. This is the best.
Does bring back Bray Wyatt, should he be eating worlds, fiending to the max, or bringing in a whole new gimmick?
I think he should be the fiender of worlds. It's a hybrid gimmick, baby.
Bring back the sausage fingers.
Bring back the chode hands.
Chiplotta hand. Yeah.
You know what, man? You know what? I want chaos. I like chaos. I don't like clean, clinical, nice, well-considered. I like absolute mayhem. The Fiend.
The Fiend.
The Fiend.
I'm sorry.
For me,
it seems an obvious choice.
It's popcorn, isn't it? Like, look, if we're in this situation where we're bringing back like Top Dollar, right? The chaotic energy of that man belongs in wrestling.
Yeah.
The chaotic energy of the Fiend and Fiend discourse belongs on my timeline, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't argue.
Bring him
with it.
home. Bring him home.
It's going to happen.
The flipping Fiend.
Let's move on to today's and finally, and more of a sort of public service announcement.
What we got?
Don't go after Kevin Owens on Twitter, because he will end your life.
He will skin you. And wear your skin like a hat.
Brett, poor Brett, I'm not going to even give his full name here. Brett
Yeah,
messaged,
don't even give his tag out. Like, he doesn't deserve any more. Poor Brett.
He said, trailblaze yourself a new finishing move that you created. You seem to be a follower to me. And Kevin Owens decided, I've woken up today and chosen violence. He writes, no, Brett, I'm going to start copying everyone even more. In fact, my name is now Kevin. Brett has 2 T's. Kevin has 2 N's now. He's even changed his name on Twitter to Kevin. And you think you're the only one that can take a selfie in front of a body wall while looking miserable? Nope. And
He's recreated his avatar there. Yeah, man. Like, I'm always in 2 minds with this stuff, right? Because I think when you're in a position and you quote tweet someone and you're critical or whatever, you do like inadvertently send like a mob of people into their. That's just a consequence. Whether it's but the level of pettiness here is something else.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, it's funny. It's funny. Kevin Owens is really funny. And
it's just, like, I don't, like you say, you don't want people going after people on the internet, but it is funny to be like, so you got tweeted by Kevin Owens at the weekend the other day, Brett. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Sorry, Kevin.
Hey, listen, I said some dumb stuff about Baron Corbin cooking steaks and eating them with ketchup, and I got destroyed by that man like 3 weeks in a row. He went out of his way to at me the next time he cooked a steak. Like 2 weeks later, he went, hey, Andy Murray, this is better than any trash you can cook.
I don't think it was even remembering to at you when he cooked steak. I think he specifically cooked steak to show you off.
Yeah, absolutely. And he absolutely destroyed me, and I literally just replied to him and said, yeah, you win, mate.
And so one of those moments where I was like, it's Baron Corbin mint now.
Yeah, he ruled. Man, listen, we need to do a video where Happy Corbin teaches us idiots how to cook steaks.
Cooking with Corbin, yes,
cooking
please.
With Corbin. There we go.
Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all today's
Annoy
news stories.
Baron and get him in.
In the comment section below. Like, share,
that.
subscribe. Subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. As I said, me and the Dudley Boys are going to be reviewing AEW Dynamite House of the Dragon. And Andy's going to be writing about it on Ups and Downs. And Miller's going to be talking about it on Ups and Downs on the channel a little bit later on today. Thoughts, Twitter questions, all that at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there. Follow both of us. Follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Happy 4-Day Weekend to us. We will not be here tomorrow. We will not be here on Monday.
No Friday news again.
Again, 2 weeks in a row. However, we will be back on Tuesday just to let you know we're going to enjoy our time off. Thank you, new bosses, for this time off.
Thank you.
We salute you.
Exactly.
For those about to take time off, we salute you.
Exactly.
It's like AC/DC, but less good.
So just to keep tide people over. That was so loud. Is that an actual microphone?
Listen, the eel hates the microphone, but he loves the casino.
Exactly.
He just loves the See the go.
And the eel.
And he sees a go. Let him have a shot. Come on. Stick it in your gob, eel. Come on. There you go.
At Adam Wilborn on Twitter. At WhatCulture WWE for all of us. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to the eel, and we'll see you soon.
There you go. Have it back. It looks like a crack pipe.